Would you like to see the letter that Lori gave me as a reward for finding her?
The one in which Jake Hurley supposedly tells his niece how to find his lost mine? No, thank you. I happily leave it to you to try to solve the mystery of his disappearance. You can afford to look foolish, dear. I can't.
Huh.
Do you have a theory as to who pulled the emergency brake?
Well, I know it wasn't me. I assume it wasn't you, and I highly doubt it was Lori. So that leaves those two friends of yours, Mr. Gray and Mr. Balducci.
And the Hardy Boys are trustworthy, so it must be Tino or John.
What do you think their motive was?
I don't know about your friends, but perhaps those other two simply thought it would be fun. Boys will be boys.
Aren't you even going to try finding out what happened to Jake Hurley?
No time. The only reason I haven't insisted that Lori release me from all this silliness is there's always the possibility that what happened to him has the makings of a bestseller, although I highly doubt it.
Why are you so sure that Jake's story wouldn't make a bestseller?
Yeah.
His story is an all-too-common one. A man wanders off into the desert in search of gold and never returns. Why? He either doesn't have enough food or water, or he encounters hostile natives.
What about his wife, Camille, dying on the train like that?
Yeah.
That does make the story a little more interesting. She probably died of something mundane like pneumonia or even measles. Now, if it was wintertime when she died, and they were in the mountains, Jake no doubt kept her body on the train for months before he buried her, which is rather delicious in a morbid sort of way.
Yeah.
How do you think Jake's engineer wound up dead on the train in the middle of nowhere?
My guess is the engineer got tired of waiting for Jake to return, took off in the train to get help, and died of a heart attack along the way, after which the train rolled to a stop in Blue Moon Canyon. Anyone experienced enough to single-handedly run a steam engine would have been quite a bit older than Jake.
I should get going.
Let me know if you run across anything juicy.
Remind me never to read any of her novels. That's kind of That's kind of yeah, keeping the dead body in the train for winter time, during the winter. It's kind of, yeah.
What's up?
So are you making any progress in here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not only am I getting some real unusual EMRs, that's electromagnetic readings, but take a look at this.
Ooh.
Got something?
I set up a camera and took some time-lapse photos. Sometimes I was in the room, sometimes I wasn't, but somewhere along the line, I managed to get a shot of Camille.
Where? You don't mean that little blob,
Yeah.
do you?
Yep, that's Camille.
What?
Okay.
You're skeptical. That's cool. Just remember, the key word when it comes to ghostly phenomena is energy. That blob is the result of Camille's residual life force, spirit if you will, reacting with the chemicals in the photographic paper.
Couldn't it just be a flaw in the photographic paper?
Yeah.
Okay, it could be that too, but it's not. Trust me.
I'll let you get back to work.
Come back anytime.
Yeah, I just check your camera first rather than thinking it's ghosts. Do. So now let's talk to Tino. Hey, Tino. Hey, it's Tino. How's it going? Named Tino.
Glad you dropped in. Lori told me she'd given you a letter from Jake Hurley that says how to find his mine.
That's right. You can read it if you want.
Yeah.
Lori should have given that to me. I mean, I'm the trained professional around here. Let me take a look.
Okay.
I've seen enough.
Okay.
2 words. Useless. Those are just the rantings of a guy who spent way too much of his life swirling mud around in pans under the hot sun. 5-star nut job.
Useless is one word, Tino.
Lori says she found this letter in a wastebasket.
Exactly where it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find any fingerprints on the emergency brake handle?
Yeah.
None that were any help, thanks to Casey Jones up there. I told the old geezer not to touch anything, but he went and got his big, fat, oily paw prints all over the place. If we didn't need him to drive the train, I'd charge him with obstruction of justice.
So you have no idea who threw the brake?
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't say that.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, I found this.
Ooh.
Probably fell out of the perp's pocket while he was
Dun
yanking on
dun
the handle.
dun.
Looks like some kind of thermometer.
Yeah, like the kind a certain ghost hunter uses on that bogus show of his.
You think John Gray threw the brake? But why would he do that?
Yeah.
Because they're thinking about axing his show, that's why. I checked with this buddy of mine in L.A. Gray's got to come up with something real big real soon, or he's toast. And you can't get much bigger than a train with a spooky past that's prone to strange accidents, now can you?
Have you confronted John with your suspicions?
All in due time. I always like to get my ducks in a row before I make an arrest.
You're going to arrest him?
Hey, the train could have derailed. We're talking reckless endangerment, attempted assaults, maybe even attempted murder.
Whoa.
John Gray wanted publicity. That's exactly what I'm going to give him.
Whoa.
Hope I didn't take up too much of your time.
Helping people's what I'm all about.
And arresting them, apparently. Okay, so this is basically the, I'm not quite sure what to call it, but it's sort of a midpoint in the game. Because the next time you talk to the Hardy Boys, they'll have finished doing their research on Jake Hurley, and when you talk to them, the train's going to stop for a while. So I'm going to just go back and forth through the train and talk to everybody here while I still can.
Before you say anything, I just want to say thank you.
Ooh.
For what?
Tino came to see me. He said you'd made him realize what a jerk he'd been for dumping me, and then he asked me out. Isn't that great? He said he doesn't care what anybody else thinks. He thinks we make the perfect couple.
Aww.
Well, can't argue with him there.
So what do you want?
Yay! I fixed their relationship.
Do you have any idea who threw the emergency brake?
I know exactly who did it.
You do?
Well, who else could it be? Camille. None of us has any reason to stop the train but Camille. She doesn't want us to find Jake's mine, so she's going to do whatever she can to keep its location a secret.
She is dead, you know.
Yeah.
Well, duh. That's why I know it's her. What's more, your friend, that Jim Harley guy?
Not Jim, Joe Hardy.
Yeah, well, he thinks it's Camille, too. He just doesn't have the guts to say so. Bye. You go, girl.
Hey, you go, girl. That's kind of nice. I'm not sure if Joe believes in ghosts. He made it sound like that. Or was it Frank? I can never remember the difference between the two Hardy Boys. I never remember which one's Joe and which one's Frank. Let's talk to Tino. Let's talk to Tino, eh? Can I talk to him?
I can't stay mad at a fellow detective. What do you need?
Thanks for your help.
Anything for a fellow detective.
Oh, okay. He likes fellow detectives. He likes the fellow detective. Okay, no singing. There's this animation we're gonna sing like 50 times throughout the entire game. Hey, John.
Hey, glad you stopped in. You gotta listen to this.
What have you got?
Yeah.
I put this digital recorder in the corner where Camille showed up in that picture, and turned it on so it would just keep recording. Now when you play it back at normal volume, all you hear is background noise.
Mm-hmm.
But when you turn the volume way up and run the signal through a filter or two...
Not really hearing anything.
Hear that?
I hear something. It kind of sounds like a woman singing.
Not just any woman.
Camille.
Yeah.
So
what?
Be careful what you say in here. She's listening.
I'm not I really did not hear anything. I'm sorry, Mr. Gray.
Are you by any chance missing a small digital thermometer?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. When I went through the box I packed them in, that one over there, I came up one short. I was hoping to set up at least 6 in here so I could check for cold spots. How did you know I was missing one?
Because Tino Balducci found it by the emergency brake handle when he was dusting it for fingerprints, and now he thinks you're the one who pulled it.
That's ridiculous. I didn't have any reason to pull the emergency brake.
Is it true that your show is in danger of being canceled?
Newsflash, my show was canceled. Happened last night. But what nobody knows yet is that it's been picked up by a major TV network. Not only am I still on the air, but I'm sitting prettier than ever. Any other questions?
Interesting.
Were you in this room the whole time prior to that emergency brake thing?
Of course not. I made a couple of trips to my compartment in the sleeping car to get more equipment. But did I get an overpowering urge to pull the emergency brake while I was there? No.
I'll let you get back to work.
Come back anytime.
That's John. So, I'm going to see if I can talk to Tino one more time. Can I? Tino, how's it going? Tino, buddy.
What's going on?
You've been a big help.
Helping people's what I'm all about.
Okay, you can't talk to Tino a second time. Yay! Yay.